Hi everyone, it's Darla. It's Scrap Happens here with Tuesday's tip. This past weekend, we had our onstage convention online. It was really fun, and we got to see the new mini catalog that starts January. It starts in January and goes through June of next year. Super great catalog, and one of the demonstrators did a demonstration with a new embossing folder. And it's a super cool embossing folder. I can't wait to get it and share it with you. But she also shared a technique, and it's an old technique, but it's a technique that I fell in love with all over again, and I wanted to share it with you today. It's a background technique made with inking up your embossing folders. And so these are some backgrounds that I created. On this one, I used Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay, and Pacific Point ink, and I used the Old World paper 3D embossing folder, and I used watercolor paper. For these two, I used Pacific Point ink and Night of Navy only, not any lavender. So it's really cool how it brought out the lavender of those two colors. So I want to show you how I did this technique today. So the first thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to start with some shimmery white cardstock, and I'm going to just spritz it with water and my spritzer. Next, I'm going to take my embossing folder. Now, normally the Stampin' Up! Emblem shows that that's the top of the embossing folder, and often you'll use the top, but for this particular embossing folder, I used the bottom because it had more flat area, which would pick up more of the ink. So what I did is I took my Pacific Point, and I've done this a few times. You can see the mess on my fingers. Should have wore gloves. But I just inked up the embossing folder with Pacific Point, and then I just touched it in a few areas with my Night of Navy ink, and I spritzed it. Next, you're going to take that piece of shimmery paper and you're going to put the wet side down, wet to wet. And I'm going to grab my new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to run this through. I should show you, these are the layers. You just use the base, number 1, plate number 1. See that? And then this is to use with the 3D embossing folders, plate number 4. And that's all you need. Okay, I'm going to run it through. Oh. I don't have a big enough table. Things are in my way and falling off. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to show you the new background. Normally I have wipes handy, but I forgot to grab some. And I just wipe off the excess water off of the background. And then I just clean my embossing folder with baby wipes too. Or you could use a warm washcloth or paper towel. It just wipes off very easily. Isn't it beautiful? So let me show you how I'm going to put my card together. I have, let's see, where are all my pieces? I'm not going to use this piece because it needs to dry a little bit, but I'm going to use one of my pre-cut pieces. And I'm going to put dimensionals. I like to use dimensionals because it helps to make it lay flatter because it's been moistened. The edges sometimes curl. And I'm adding more dimensionals than I normally do, just to help with that curl. Okay. I should have music playing or something while I'm taking all of these off. Okay, then I'm going to attach it to my Night of Navy card base. And then I have pre-cut a couple of snowflakes with the So Many Snowflakes dies. And I have some mini dimensionals here. And I'm going to attach the larger one up in the corner. And I cut these with the shimmery white paper. I think I might go back and add some Wink of Stella to it just to make it a little more shimmery. And then I used the Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper to cut a stitched circle with my Stitch Shapes frames. I'm going to attach that. With some dimensionals. Then I have a tree that I cut with the Pine Woods dies, and I attached some mini dimensionals that I had cut in half. This tree is also cut with the shimmery white cardstock. And then I have this other snowflake that I'm just going to put a dot of multi-purpose glue on here and then add it. Okay, before I do any more to the outside, I want to do the inside. So I'm going to get my inside piece. And where did I put my stamps? Okay, here we go. I'm going to use the Snowflakes Wishes stamp set, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment. Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas on the inside. And then I have a strip of the same designer paper that I'm going to adhere to the inside of the card, but I also want to add some snowflakes. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want that and then stamp some snowflakes. I'll use my Stampin' Seal. To adhere it. And then I have a couple of snowflakes, sequins, that I want to add to the inside. And then I'm going to add it to the inside of my card. Got a sequin in there. And then last, I have some of the blue adhesive back gems that I just want to add to the front of the card. And just some fun little places. And there you have it. Beautiful background, beautiful card, and super fun technique. I hope you'll give it a try. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe so you don't miss another video. You can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. I have a newsletter that I'm starting. I've done it a few times, but I'm going to start doing it weekly. You can sign up for that on my blog at scraphappensherewithdarla.com. Hey, thank you again for stopping by. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week with Tuesday's tip.